We do not know one promise these men made, one pledge they gave, one word they spoke, but we do know they summed up and perfected by one supreme act the highest virtues of men and citizens. For love of country they accepted death, and thus resolved all doubts, and made immortal their patriotism and their virtue. James Garfield, May 30th, 1868, at the Arlington National Cemetery. Um, Happy Memorial Day. I'm your host, Will Reeser. Welcome to Let's Talk. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the start of how Memorial Day started. Ways you can do to honor it. So let's get this show on the road. I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. For a lot of you who don't know, Memorial Day originally started off known as Decoration Day. It was a day that citizens would go to the cemetery and decorate the headstones, grave sites, and whatnot with flowers, flags, wreaths of the people who died in service of their country. It was originally started because a general from the Grand Army of the Republic, known as John A. Logan, wanted to acknowledge the people in the Civil War that died. It was over 20,000 that died. So that's kind of how it all started. By 1873, New York acknowledged it as a holiday. It was the first state to do that. So pretty cool there. Good job, New York. By World War I, the country decided to use it as a day to recognize everyone who died in a war that Americans were involved in. By 1971, they declared the last Monday of May to be Memorial Day. So that's kind of how it all evolves into there. Something else you may not know is every year on Memorial Day, the vice president or the president will lay a wreath on the tomb of the unknown soldiers. So all that's pretty cool, right? It's a good way for the country to acknowledge it. Now, how can we acknowledge it as citizens? Well, I got a few different ideas. I know that everybody that I've known growing up throughout my whole life tends to have a cookout and having friends and family over. But we tend to lose sight of the whole reason why we have Memorial Day, right? So if you could just take a moment of your time to take some silence or a moment of prayer, whatever it is, any way that you want to acknowledge that. There's a bunch of other ways to do it. One of the ways I like to do it, I've been doing this for the last 6 years now, is the Murph Challenge. The Murph Challenge is a really awesome physical activity to help honor the men and women who sacrificed their lives. I think it's a very little sacrifice, just a little sweat and tears sometimes to do that. So the Murph Challenge consists of a 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then another 1 mile run, all while wearing a 20-pound weighted vest. So I just did mine today. So yay me. I'm a little fatigued now, but I did it. So I always like to do that. And I don't know. I just enjoy doing it. I think it's a great way to do it. I think for what these people did for us, it's a small thing to do, saying, hey, I appreciate you. But if you're not physically capable of doing the job, by the way, you get a really cool t-shirt. You get a nice little patch. Or hat, I'm sorry. And then the patch. Here, let me see if I got the patch on me. Yeah, here's the patch right here. So you get a nice, cool little patch. This is actually the 10th anniversary. So I definitely had to do it this year. I almost backed out. I said that I was going to never not do it until I physically couldn't do it. But I almost wussed out this year and didn't. But I did it. I'm tired as fuck. But I did it. So anyways, so just to give you a little history on the Murph. It is named after one of the heroes known as Lieutenant Michael Murphy. He was part of Operation Red Wing. He was a Navy SEAL. Operation Red Wing, there were 4 SEALs sent into Afghanistan. It was known as the darkest day in history. in SEAL history because of the amount of lives that were lost that day. So these 4 SEALs were in Afghanistan. They were looking up this guy named Ahmad Shah, who was part of these Mountain Tiger group or whatever, basically a Taliban group. And I guess we were doing some surveillance on it or something, or tracking them, trying to get this guy. They were discovered by some goat herders, sheep herders, or something like that. And those people wound up reporting their location. Of course, the Mountain Tigers came in strong, basically kept forcing them down the hill. I mean, they were falling at 20 feet to 30 feet at a time down the side of this mountain trying to fight back. But they were overwhelmed. But they went so far down the valley that they were not able to make the call to get help. So the officer that's responsible for it, I believe it was either Danny Dietz or Matthew Axelson. I can't remember, and I'm sorry if I give you the wrong information there. But one of them got their hand shot, so Michael Murphy decided he needed to go out on this ridge, fully exposed to the enemy, to make this call. And you kind of guess what happened there. He went out on the ridge to make the call, and they took advantage of the situation and killed him. So he gave up his life for that. Apparently this exercise is something that he liked to do it all the time. So the HIT World, High Intensity Interval Training people, decided they would name this after him, this exercise, this workout program after him. So unfortunately, him, Danny Dietz, and Matthew Axelson wound up losing their life. Marcus Luttrell wound up surviving. When he did make the call, they did send a helicopter with 16 other people to help. Unfortunately, an RPG was shot at the helicopter, killing all 16 on the helicopter. So they lost a total of 19 men during this mission. So really sad, but if you have a good chance, if you haven't already seen a Lone Survivor, it talks all about it. That's basically what the movie's about. It's about Marcus Luttrell's survival and all that. Really good movie. But yeah, so just make sure you take some time to acknowledge the people who let you live in a free country. As great as America is, I mean, I love America. I hope you guys do too. So just take a moment, say a prayer, or a moment of silence, and if you feel physically up to it, do the Murph Challenge. You get a t-shirt and a hat and a cool patch. This year, it's a 10-year anniversary patch, so that's really awesome. I wish I would have known about it sooner. I didn't know about it. I just learned about it when my wife saw a video from Chris Pratt and John Krasinski saying that they liked it and she wanted to sign me up for it. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, let's do it. Because I can't say no to this kind of stuff, unfortunately. So that's all I got, man. Just make sure you take some time. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your family. But just take a moment of silence or some form of recognition to the men and women that gave their lives for you. I love you guys. Be good. Peace.